We have some breaking news. Martin Zubimendi is going to be an Arsenal player. We know that, but there's more details around how soon we can expect that because he is having a medical. Now, can we just give some credit to Sami Mokbel, now at the BBC, who has just been at the forefront of Arsenal news for a while now. Breaking news. And he came in January, right? He came in with big news. And there was a filter through after. Other journalists came in and said, yeah, there's something to this. But he came in, Sami Mokbel, and said, Martin Zubimendi is set to sign for Arsenal. That was back in January. We're now at the end of May, about to hit June. The transfer window is as good as open, right? The minute that last Premier League game is done, we're all focused on transfers. Clubs have been doing business for weeks now anyway. And it looks like everything that Samuel Mokbel said has come true, and he's bringing us the latest with it. He's at the heart of this deal. Now, he tweeted and posted on the BBC website that Martin Zubimendi is set for a medical before completing his switch to Arsenal. All relevant paperwork with Real Sociedad has been completed. Announcement pending, successful medical. It's as good as done. I mean, I know Fabrizio Romano more recently, I think in the last week or two, gave it the here we go. We know that is Romano's signature for it's the stamp of approval. It is happening. But Sami Mokbel kind of went as far as that essentially back in January. Said he's set to join. I mean, he basically was like, this is happening. And in the follow-up, like I said, we had David Ornstein say advanced talks. We had Romano say advanced talks. We had a lot of people who are really the reliable ones in the transfer space saying, yeah, this is looking like it's really going to happen. Ornstein said for a while, Arsenal are very much working this summer on the assumption that Zubimendi is joining, but now we kind of know we just didn't hold the shirt now. So I'll have a medical. I mean, I wonder when that will be, because the thing we need to remember is these players go off on holiday. I think there's even an international break. I think there's some sort of, it's not even a break, is it? You may as well call it international extension. There is international football being played, I think. So will he be involved with Spain? I haven't actually checked if he's with the squad. That means he'll be playing more football there. So I think there's a good chance, while this sounds like, oh, brilliant, go get your little checks and then hold the shirt and all is good. While that could be how it happens, I actually think what the more likely thing to expect is he's going to, play his last game for Sociedad. I think he might have done that already. Actually, that's a good question. Let me just double check that. Real Sociedad. Just curious. I think they're done. Yeah, they're done. It was at Real Madrid, a 2-0 defeat. So that would have been his last game, and his last home game was 3-2 win at home to Girona. So I think there's a good chance that he goes on international duty, could do the medical there. That has happened before, I think. I think players have gone on international duty and basically spoken to the respective medical teams about getting certain things done, or maybe sent a doctor. Why not? I mean, training isn't a 6, 7, 8 hour thing. There will be sort of downtime and rest time. So I wonder whether that's an opportunity. I don't really know how this kind of stuff works. I'm just making it up, but it's not making it up. You've read things in the past, right? So could he do the medical in the next week or two? That's possible. I then think, though, they'll want to make a deal out of this, Arsenal. This is a big signing. This is one of the most sought-after sixes in the world. And we'll talk about that part in a sec. But I think there's a good chance that he maybe does the 1-2 weeks international football, maybe then another 2 weeks holiday. It's very possible. And that actually we don't really get an announcement till maybe end of June, maybe early July. I think that's really possible as players start to return and get ready for camp, and I think Arsenal might even have a training camp in Spain in the summer, pre-season. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of patience needed in terms of the actual holding the shirt, finding out what number he's getting. And by the way, I'd give him the number 3. He's worn it before. Tierney's leaving, so that's the number I'd give him. But I think whilst this is all like great news, he's set for medical. Well, when Sami Mokbel says he's set for medical, does that mean he's about to do it? Maybe that feeds into what I was saying about the international break. Anyway, right, moving on. I'm just trying to give you guys a bit of an idea for how I view the time frame in my mind. But the point is, I think we can feel very, very, very confident that he's joined now. To be fair, only yesterday there were rumours and reports from Spain that he's not quite signed it all off with Arsenal yet, because if Real Madrid come in, he would make that move. But that's been quickly sort of rubbished by Sami Mokbel indirectly, as he's basically said he's about to do a medical. All the paperwork's done. I mean, I suppose until that final bit's done, Zubimendi could change his mind. I would just be amazed at this point if that was to happen, with the deal being so publicised, and actually with this kind of latest round of confirmation about the deal. We haven't really seen the pushback from Spanish media like we saw in January. So, yeah, I think we can feel extremely confident. 99.9%. This is looking really, really good. Of course, he needed to join Liverpool last summer. That didn't happen. He was looked at by Arsenal and other clubs, Bayern Munich, I think, in the year or two before that. This has been a very, very sought-after number 6. This is one of the players that people look at. It's a crucial position in the game. I mean, all top clubs have players in that position they really, really trust and rely on, to the point of when you lose them, you can see, if not a level drop, then certainly a performance or style drop. I mean, they can be so crucial to a team. And Arsenal, having Partey in there, who's done brilliantly for this season, the season before that injured, season before that brilliantly, season before that has some injury problems in and out. That is an area that they clearly want to add just more strength and depth in, having lost Jorginho. And of course, they got Partey and Rice who can play there. I've said for a while, even when it was Jorginho, not Zubimendi, Arsenal have the best collection of number 6s in world football, and I really believe that. But it's about getting the right dynamic of the midfield, because I think you could play Partey at the base with Zubimendi even as a little bit more of a roaming 8. I don't think we'll see that, but I think you maybe could. We could definitely see Zubimendi with Rice as the box-to-box. We could even see games where you want Rice sitting and Zubimendi plays the left 8 like Jorginho did against Liverpool in a 3-1 win last season. So there's a lot we can do with this player. I'm really excited to see him. In terms of his kind of fit, in terms of the transfer window plans, in terms of how he fits into what we're trying to do, this is a £51 million signing. And it's a release clause. I imagine we've paid it all in full. I think that's typically how they have to be paid. You do get situations where I think I read somewhere that Arsenal were considering paying 60 million overall so that they could spread out the deal. So they could basically say to Sociedad, we'll give you 25 this summer, 15 the summer after that, 15 and 5. I've just made up the breakup of figures, right? But something like that to essentially allow Arsenal to only have an outgoing of 25 million this summer, but it looks like it's going to be 51 million pounds. And with that, does that have a massive effect on the chunk of money we got? Because even if there's a 200 million pound budget before sales and all that, that's a lot of money that's gone. And you're looking at an 80 million pound Rodrigo, a 45 million pound Nico Williams, a 60 million pound Gyökeres, a 60 million pound Sesko. And Mbemo's said to be 50 million. That's before we've even addressed. We wanted to spend £50 million on Dean House, so we wanted to pay that release clause. So are Arsenal going for that right-footed centre-back? Are they going? That's something, by the way, that Graham and I are going to talk about on Tactical Insight, so look out for that. The goalkeeper situation. Ian Garcia reports yesterday saying that he is really looking like he's going to join the Premier League. That's where he wants to go, and Arsenal are front runners. So is he coming in to compete with David Raya? Because this isn't someone who sees himself as the number 2. So is he going to try and win his place ahead of David Raya? And then we're in the same goalkeeper situation we were a year ago. Arteta loves to reinvent that position, it seems. So it's going to be really interesting to see how much this particular deal affects what we can do this summer. Or is it the fact that we didn't do anything in January and didn't do enough last summer, meaning that actually there was a little bit extra, and that's the Zubimendi one. That's why we heard about it so early in Jan. I don't know. But ultimately, we know Arsenal need to have a big summer. And while we're super excited about this, I don't think it... Some people will question whether it even improves the first level we could put out there. And that's not what you want. You want players coming in that you're like, this definitely improves the first level. For what it's worth, I think Zubimendi will, and long term absolutely will. But that 6th position can take a little bit of time. Partey was recoached into that role. Rodri took a few years before he came into his own, into that role for Man City. So I'm really excited to see what we do with them, but we need instant impact players too. And of course, we'll keep you up to date with all of that here on AFTV. As news breaks, we'll, be reacting to it all. So subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Go on, send your welcomes into Zubimendi. I'm sure Cecil is working on a big old welcome video for the Spanish midfielder. I look forward to seeing him on pre-season. Catch you all in a bit.